Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living in Eugene. My name is Ona Chambers, and I'm a practitioner here, and I'm going to lead us all in a meditation. Now, I like to do something a little bit different, so I have a book that's called The Little Book of Awakenings by Mark Nepo, and it has 52 of his very famous meditations in it. And this morning, I'm going to do a meditation called Life in the Tank. There's a little quote by St. Augustine that says, "Love and do what thou wilt." So sit back now and relax. Take a few breaths and center yourself in the divine consciousness. And we'll start now. It was a curious thing. Robert had filled the bathtub and put the fish in the tub so he could clean their tank. After he'd scrubbed the film from the small walls of their make-believe deep, he went to retrieve them. He was astonished to find that though they had the entire tub to swim in, they were huddled in a small area the size of their tank. There was nothing containing them, nothing holding them back. Why wouldn't they dart about freely? What had life in the tank done to their natural ability to swim? This quiet yet stark moment stayed with us both for a long time. We couldn't help but see those little fish going nowhere but into themselves. We now had a life in the tank lens on the world and wondered daily, in what ways are we like them? In what ways do we go nowhere but into ourselves? In what ways do we shrink our world so as not to feel the press of our own self-imposed captivity? Life in the tank made me think how we are raised at home and in school. It made me think of being told that certain jobs are not acceptable and that certain jobs are out of reach, of being schooled to live in a certain way, of being trained to think that only practical things are possible, of being warned over and over that life outside the tank of our values is risky and dangerous. I began to see just how much we were taught as children to fear life outside the tank. As a father, Robert began to question if he was preparing his children for life in the tank or life in the uncontainable world. It makes me wonder now, in the middle age, if being spontaneous and kind and curious are all parts of our natural ability to swim. Each time I hesitate to do the unplanned or unexpected, or hesitate to reach and help another, or hesitate to inquire into something I know nothing about, each time I ignore the impulse to run in the rain or call you up just to say I love you, I wonder, am I turning on myself, swimming safely in the middle of my tub? Sit quietly now until you feel thoroughly in your center. Now imagine that you are rising up and slowly walking around the room you are in. Now imagine that you are walking close to the walls of the room and meditate on life in your tank. Breathe clearly and slowly and imagine that you are moving to the doorway and meditate on the nature of what is truly possible in life. Finally, step through the doorway and enter your day. Step through your day and enter the world. While the meditation is over now, if you wait 15 minutes, we'll start our regular service with our wonderful talk from Linda today. So don't go too far away. Stay tuned. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good morning. My name is Sister V, and this is,
Radiant Gains.
and we are your Joy Notes. So, and we're going to do a couple congregational songs. So if you able to stand with us and sing, and the words will be up here on the screen. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. Love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am.
That's so loving. If you will please turn to your neighbor and greet them.
Good morning.
If you're at home, take this opportunity to hug your loved ones, pet the cat. If you're waiting to send that letter, just send it.
There you go.
Tell everyone you love them, because we all need to hear it. We all need to be reminded that love is all there is. And now if you'll return to your seats, we'll sing our second song. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are. This time we're going to sing it again. Really get in it. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. You are holy. You are holy. Feel free to sing it to your neighbor. We all need to be reminded. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy. We are, or no, I am, sorry. I am holy.
Holy, holy,
Holy. We are, I am. You know.
I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy. I am holy. You guys did a wonderful job. Thank
And
you
if you
so
have
much.
a device, please silence it now. And thank you for coming to celebrate this beautiful Sunday service with us.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living in Eugene. My name is Donu Green. I am a student and on my way to becoming a practitioner here. So, happy June to everyone as we celebrate the end of spring coming up and the beginning of summer. Thank you also to everyone joining us remotely from home. We see you and we appreciate you. And if you are here for your first time, we have a sheet in the lobby you can fill out and get signed up for our newsletter. Our newsletter is the best way to stay in touch with us and stay up to date on classes, events, service opportunities, and the fun things we offer here. And here at this center, we know that spiritually empowered people live richer, fuller lives. So we use the principles of science of mind to inspire minds, open hearts, and empower lives. And I'd like to share with you a piece of our global vision. We envision a worldwide culture in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm. And I'd like to welcome up our practitioner of the day, Ona Chambers, and also give a shout out to Kathy Day for holding high watch for us. Thank you. And if you would all rise, we've got one more song we're going to sing.
We are one. We are one. I am you, you are me. We are one. And in this unity, we all live in harmony, and peace has come. For we are one. We are one. We are one. I am you, you are me. We are one. And in this unity, we all live in harmony, and peace has come. For we are one.
Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to see you all and to be back and to be up here on the podium again. And I'm going to lead us in an affirmative prayer. So if you're comfortable, you may close your eyes. And if not, have a downward gaze. And take a big breath in and let it out slowly. And as you let that breath out, relax and allow yourself to become aware of the divine all around you and within you. And let it light you up. Let that glow start slowly and softly and build. As you become totally aware and totally immersed in the idea that God is within every single one of us. That we are the divine. The divine is everything, and that includes us. The divine has created everything out of itself, out of love, and we are a creation of love by the divine. So right now, open your heart, open your mind, and feel that love. Feel it emanating from your heart, from your head, from your hands, from your feet. You are the divine. I am the divine. We all are. And the divine has come together here today to be with one another, to share with one another, to love one another and support one another. And everything here today in this service comes together to support that idea. The words we hear, the talk, the music, the expressions on people's faces, and the conversations we had before and after the service. All of it comes together to feed our souls and remind us who we are and the good and the love and the power within each one of us because of that. So now I feel such deep gratitude knowing the love and the power of the divine that resides within me, and I've resolved to use it even more in my everyday life. I place this word now into the law and know it is already done. I am exuding love. I am feeling love for my fellow man. And that's not just the ones that are easy to love, like everybody in here, but those out there that maybe we think of as other. They're not other, they're us. So I am acknowledging now that I want to be able to do that even better in my everyday life. I am so grateful. I am so thankful to have this knowledge and to have the close relationship that we all have here, the comradeship, the community that resides here at Center for Spiritual Living. And I know we are blessed. Say with me now, and so it is. Come on, Toby. Come on.
Thank you, Ona. That was beautiful. And I also really quickly just want to say thank you to our sound team. You do so much for us. And I am going to share with you now our affirmation for June. I will read it once aloud, and then if you choose, you can repeat it with me aloud again. Taking care of myself, honoring myself, is taking care of and honoring God within. I allow the love and grace of Spirit to manifest through me, in me, and as me, today and always. And now, if you choose, read it with me. Taking care of myself, honoring myself, is taking care of and honoring God within. I allow the love and grace of Spirit to manifest through me, in me, and as me, today and always. No matter what. And our talk title today is Balancing Grief and Joy, and it will be given to us by our beloved Reverend Linda Finley. And before we get into our talk, we have a couple musical guests today, Mike and Carlene McCormick. Welcome.
An empty room, just four plain walls, a squeaky door, familiar pictures, a mottled ceiling with missing tiles, and a dusty halo around the fixtures. So now the day has come at last. The old cliches have all come true. An empty nest, time moves too fast. But in this room, I still see you. In this room, I still see you. Old piano, a couple chairs, a favorite book we've had for ages, the carpet tied from the years of wear, and a calendar with no more pages. It's been like this for years, I guess. But somehow I never knew that what I loved in this room best was walking in, seeing you, walking in and seeing you. An empty room, just four plain walls, a squeaky door, familiar pictures, a mottled ceiling with missing tiles, and a dusty halo around the fixtures. It seems some things we can't foresee. Time moves on, so do we. The spring brings forth 1,000 blooms. And hearts can live in empty rooms. A heart can live in an empty room.
They did such a good job taking us there. If you'll sit back, we'll go into our meditation song. After we sing that, we'll go into a very short meditation. Please feel free to close your eyes or have a downward gaze as you see fit. And thank you for coming to do this with us. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening.
I breathe, letting the air fill my lungs all the way to my diaphragm, and then letting it go. Breathing in life, breathing out peace. My very breath is a reminder of the infinite reciprocal nature of spirit in my life, in this world. I receive and I give. I take in, I let go. My lungs move, my heart moves. A rhythm, a dance of life. Receiving and giving, giving and receiving. Letting go and letting it flow. I simply breathe. Grateful for this moment of reconnecting with the truth of who and what I am. Infinite life being lived by me. I let go. I let it be. And so it is. Whatever you were going to say, Mike, I heard you. That is the most exquisite. I'm a bit verklempt, my face is leaking, okay? And it's a perfect song for today. We're looking at, as this year of living out loud. Living out loud means we dare to be who we are. We don't hide behind masks. We don't hide behind stories. We don't hide behind whatever. That we are willing to step up and literally be who we came here to be. Literally be the energy and the intelligence and the love and the grace and the wisdom that each of us is. And yes, I'm talking about each and every one here. I know some of us have stories that we're not that good and we're really pretty awful and we don't do well and we mess up all the time and this and that and the other thing, and that's a lie. That's a story. that somewhere you bought into, but it's not the truth of you. It's never been the truth of you. It wasn't the truth of you when you were a glebe in your mama and daddy's eye. It was not the truth of you when you were a little egg waiting for the sperm. It was not the truth of you when you were born, and it's certainly not the truth of you now. Yes, you are a product of all the experiences you've had, and you are you in a way that is magnificent and amazing, and that only you could be. And the world would be less without you. That empty room with dust angels. When the empty nest happens, when whatever it is happens, that's what we're looking at this month, is self-care. And today, the idea of balancing the grief and joy. Lives are not a plane. You know, I was first 6 years of my life in Nebraska, and it's kind of like the plains. And yet there's gently rolling ground all the time. Not anything you might call hills, but hillocks. Just the ground is like an open sea, an ocean of gentle movement. And it's up, and it's down, and it's up, and it's down, just like the breath is in and out. The day, the night, the light, the dark, the pain, the joy, the grief, the jubilation. Life is a splendid weaving and intermixture of all these things. And yeah, it's really great when I can be happy all the time and I'm just feeling good about everything and the sun is shining and the birds are singing and it's not too hot and it's not too cold. It's a Goldilocks day. Everything is just right. And I can't appreciate that. I can't find the awe in that if I've never stubbed my toe, if I've never fallen flat on my face, if I've never lost anything. The joy of just being can slip away until I balance all of these things together. Grief is part of the pattern of life. And we tend to think of grief as essentially something that you know, a loved one dies, a relative, a beloved friend or relative dies. But grief can also come from the loss of a beloved pet. I know a whole lot of people in here who have lost animals that you've had for, whether it's 3 years or 15 years or 18 years. They're part of your family. They're part of you. They're part of your system of life. Losing a job that you really loved. Even if you know, having, I know we've got people here who lost homes in Blue River. Have your whole life wiped away in one night. Getting married, which is a wonderful, joyous thing, contains within it letting go of things that were before that won't be anymore. Every new good thing has a certain degree of grief attached to it. And in this teaching, we've kind of had a reputation of being more New Agey than New Thought, and we are New Thought. We do not do spiritual bypass. Dr. Holmes says you turn away from the problem and towards the solution. That's a good thing. We don't want to spend all our time dwelling on what is wrong with the world and all of that. And if we don't acknowledge that there's a problem, if we don't allow the problem to inform us, it will get down inside of our body and go to work attacking anything it can find. Because it needs to be heard. Our grief needs to be heard. Our anger needs to be heard. Our tragedy needs to be heard. Our trauma needs to be heard. We have to experience what it is that's bringing up all this stuff for us, because if we don't, it literally does attack our bodies. There is Where's the... Ba, 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 ba. There are chemicals that arise that take on... here we go. Grief unexpressed can lead to chronic inflammation causing depression, anxiety, heart disease, autoimmune problems, and despair. And that's basically any emotion unexpressed, unlistened to. But if we can develop a sense of awe, a sense of wonder, there's a wonderful saying, it's good to be sad that it's gone. But the reason we're sad is because it made us so happy when we had it. And we wouldn't be sad if we'd never been that happy. So we need to be grateful that it happened, along with our sense of loss that it's gone. It sounds, when you're in the midst of feeling, you got to feel that, But at some point, there's got to be a breakthrough that says, okay, wow, this happened. I had all of that. I had all that love. I had all of that this. I had all of that that. That's amazing. And what happens when we allow ourselves to experience that little sense of awe, that it even existed? It releases these chemicals and hormones in our body that counteract every one of these conditions. The anxiety, the depression, the heart disease, the autoimmune, the despair, all of that. Our body is a natural pharmacy and it will undo those things. But we have to be willing to go there and let it inform us and allow ourselves to release it. So it's all about doing this bizarre little dance of God, I feel awful, but you know what? It was really pretty wonderful while it lasted. It was really, really good. There are parts that I'm going to remember that are fun. And the interesting thing, I had a lot of loss in my life. I have a large family on both sides. And on my dad's side especially, there's a lot of heart disease. And I had one uncle who died at 37, and my dad died at 57. So there was a lot of loss there and a lot of, but the thing that would happen is you're there at the funeral and you're crying and you're upset, and inevitably somebody tells a story, and then everybody starts laughing. And then afterwards at the wake, at the reception, everybody's telling stories, and you wouldn't know it was a room for a funeral because everybody in there is laughing and having such a good time and sharing stories about the person. And that's part of the healing, of the balance of the sorrow and the joy. And you can be laughing and suddenly burst into tears. And that's the beauty of human nature, but it's letting those emotions express themselves. And rage and everything else. When we hold them in, they eat us. When we let them out, they heal us. I've been looking at the world post-COVID, and it isn't post-COVID. The disease is still very much with us, and it's still evolving. They found a new variant that is coming up, and they're quite concerned about. And I'm not going to get into lectures on that or anything, but my point being, we are learning how to navigate a world in which nothing is certain. And the point is, nothing was ever certain. It was just kind of humming along at a normal pace, and here's a little crisis here, and then we go to do, and there's a little crisis there, and we go to go. But we have been thinking we're in control, and we're not. We have bunny hill training, and we're on the pro slope. And essentially, that's for those of you I'm talking skiing, downhill skiing. Yeah, in California, we downhill skied. Up here, I guess everybody just cross-country skis or whatever. But, we were downhillers, by golly. But the point being, we have to be willing to realize that the ground underneath us is moving all the time. The ground underneath us is flexing all the time. Breathing in, breathing out. We're used to these rhythms. And some new rhythms, which represent a new way of being and a new way for the world to unfold, are happening. And we're here learning how to navigate them, to be part of creating a world that does indeed work for everyone, to create a world wherein we have our joy and our grief balanced, and we can include both of them and all the spectrum in between them in how we live our lives, and be willing to pull away and do what we need to do to heal, and be willing to come back in and step in and be part of what we need to be part of. I've been doing a lot of return to my childhood roots, not so much of Methodism or Presbyterianism, which I still don't, I love the grounding I got, but that's not who I am, and I don't believe in the things you have to believe in to be that. But I really happen to like this guy named Jesus. He was so amazing, and whether there really was a Jesus or not, or whether it was a school of thought that they applied a name to, I don't care. I like the construct of the ideas that this individual or school came up with that was a variant on the old Judaic traditions and created a new way where it wasn't all about all the rules. You should love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind, and you should love your neighbor as you love yourself. Those are the two laws on which everything is built. If you do that, you don't need any other laws. But the problem is it wasn't specific enough. What do you mean by everybody? What do you mean by neighbor? Who's my neighbor? Not those horrible people that live next door that were having a party yesterday. Surely you don't mean them. You don't mean the people south of the border. No, God, you couldn't possibly mean them. Yeah, everybody. Loving everybody. When we find a way to let love be our operating principle, the fact that the ground underneath us is moving will not be nearly as scary. Love casts out fear. Love grounds us. Love connects us to all that is good and right and wondrous in the world. And love is not a passive, sweet Valentine Hallmark moment. Love is a verb. Love is an action verb. From Kurt Struckmeyer, who's written this beautiful book called Conspiracy of Love, and I'm just finishing it. It's just, For Jesus, loving God and neighbor became the ethical principle that every other rule or law or regulation should be subjected to in order to determine a correct ethical response to any moral situation. Loving God and neighbor is the whole basis by which I judge what I'm doing here. Love is a verb. Genuine love at its deepest level is an action, an activity, a commitment. Love and justice are the same. Justice is simply love on a larger scale. Justice is simply love on a larger scale. What would love do in this situation? What would love say in this situation? How would love act in this situation? If I can't do that, can I just... What is the loving thing to do? Yeah, my beloved Reverend Don Moore, when I first found this teaching, he says, would you rather be right? You have every right to be angry. But would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Some of us sadly choose being right. I'd rather be right and miserable than just keep my mouth shut and be happy. I feel bad because I know those people can grow, because we all can grow and we all can do that. But the idea that love is the reason we're here. We're here to love one another. We're here to try to feel all the feelings. And when we love deeply and truly, grief happens with all these losses that we talked about having. But it's important to do while you are grieving is simply to be with it. When grief comes up, be with it. When anger comes up, be with it. When fear comes up, be with it. When frustration comes up, be with it. When any negative, restrictive emotion comes up, be with it. Don't try to push it away, ignore it, or pretend it is not there by getting yourself so busy, oh, I've never done that you have no time to share and discover what it's trying to tell you, to propel you to be. Every time we have an emotion, specifically a reactive emotion, 99 times out of 100, maybe 999 times out of 1,000, it is not about what's happening right in front of us. It is reminding us of something that happened a year ago, 10 years ago, 50 years ago. It's calling up old feelings that we haven't learned from yet. I love this. My beloved Reverend Dr. Jim Lockard, said, stop saying it's here to be healed. It's not here to be healed. To be healed means something's broken. Nothing is broken. Nothing in you is broken. Even if you break an arm, it's not broken. It's perfectly broken the way it is. It's perfectly undone, and it can be perfectly put back together. It came to be learned from. What is this trying to tell me? I have a friend who did something and stood up to an employer and said, that's it, you cannot cross this line. That's enough. It's not going to happen anymore. And she says, I realized I was so proud of my 25-year-old self because I was doing what she would never do. She learned from her emotion, and she grew. When we feel our feelings and let them inform us, and then move into love and let love always be the guiding principle for everything, then what we can do is earth-shattering. We not only change ourselves, we change the circle around us, we change the world around us by moving forward to something rather than running from something or trying to fix some broken thing, but building a new thing that replaces all that was. Martin Luther King. I am cognizant of the interrelatedness of all communities and states. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality tied to a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all directly. At my age, it is common for me to look at people in their 30s as young. He was 33 when he said that. He was only 37 when he was killed. I keep wondering, if he was that brilliant at that age, what would he have evolved into in his 70s and 80s? Can I, in my grief for what is broken, what is wrong, what makes me uncomfortable in the world, if I can learn to grow and to love into it, to carry the gifts of the people that I admired who are no longer with me, and to be part of their eternal life by being who they might have been. Not to say that I'm not going to be Linda anymore, but by enfolding those attitudes and aptitudes that speak to my soul, that belong to them, and bring those forward. When I can weave together the grief and the joy, the wisdom and the pain, I begin creating a garment that is so powerfully strong. It can cover us all and help us fly. This is L.R. Nost. I have no idea who they are. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness in the world. All things break, and all things can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go. Love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in the darkness for the light that is you. You are the answer to someone's prayer. I swear. You are the answer to probably several people's prayer, and you will continue to be the answer to people's prayers as you move through the world from a state of grace and love that you were born with, that can't be taken away from you no matter what trauma, no matter what happened to you out here. There is a spot within each of us that has never been touched and never will be touched, and it is the power that moves us forward. I love you guys. So, it is time for the blessing of the offering, so I'm going to ask our beloved Ona, and we need to get the podium mic back up so Ona can bless the offering. Oh, and
Sit. Sit. Good sit. Good boy. That was a beautiful talk, Linda. Thank you so much. It's nice to be reminded. And hopefully all of you got as much as I got out of it, because I needed to be reminded about some of that. We are so blessed to be part of this community of people that are trying to become more and more conscious and awake all the time, to be conscious of our divinity, to be conscious that we are love, and that we need to go out and scatter it willy-nilly wherever we go, to whomever needs it. And I am so grateful. I've been here a long time. I have learned so much about myself. I have grown so much, and my gratitude overflows. And part of keeping this place going is giving back, because as we give, we receive. The more we give, the more we receive. And I didn't believe that when I first came here, but it is absolutely the truth. We need to support our center if we want to keep it open and grow it, and have more people get to experience this wonderful perspective on life. So this is the time when we all have a chance to give back in gratitude for the good that we receive here and the good that we scatter in the world because we've received it here. So I bless this offering and know that it comes back to me over and over and over again in many different ways. And I am proud and grateful to have the opportunity to be able to give it this time. Thank you very much. And now, what are we singing now? It's been a long time.
everything we give thanks.
abundance, it knows no bounds. Giving and receiving, we circulate the love with gratitude and knowing there's always enough. We give thanks, we give thanks, we give thanks with this offering. We give thanks, we give thanks, we give thanks for everything. We give thanks, we give thanks, we give thanks with this offering. We give thanks, we give thanks, we give thanks for everything.
And now we are so blessed and grateful because we have another song by Mike and Carlene McCorn. I don't know why. Sorry. But we'll be blessed because they're going to play for us again.
Thank you, Linda and Ona, for your, there you are, can't see over them, for your reflections. That was great. So we're going to sing a little bit about a happy place for us in reference to Ona's meditation of stepping out your door and getting outside. Down a red dirt road, few people know, through the sage and ponderosa pine, there's a river that flows from places unknown, far below the snowy mountainside. From the wild Saskatoon to the snowberry bloom, on the trail along the canyon creek, where the fish are on the rise in the early morning light and slip away quiet and deep. River, show us the way. You know how to rush and to play over rocks and mossy ground, under sun and stormy clouds. River, you only know where you come from and where you must go. There's a cool and quiet breeze through the tops of the trees in the wood where wren and robin sing, of where the river goes beneath the lava flows, the secret of Metolius Spring. And as she rolls along, you can hear the river's song in a voice as soft as summer rain. She's an old and precious friend that calls me back again, remembering but never the same. River, show us the way. You know how to rush and to play over rocks and mossy ground, under sun and stormy clouds. where you come from, and where you must go. You only know where you come
River shows the
from,
way
where you must go. Thank you.
It's always a total delight to have you with us. I become instantly 17 years old again listening to those harmonies. So it is that moment of the day where we get to have announcements. We get to hear what's going on and what's going to be happening and what's coming up. And because 30 people were at the women's or the community retreat last weekend, we delayed and did Birthday Sunday today so that there would be treats and goodies for all of you. And so if you have a birthday in June, would you please stand so we can honor you? Welcome back, Bree, by the way. Woohoo! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everybody. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you. You are wonderful. God is blessing you now. So, today, after the service, after the treats at noon, begin your joy with your sacred end-of-life journey after the gathering at the social hall. Karuna is here to do an uplifting and empowering message about what do doula do. And it's about how to make the most of the rest of your life and make the rest of your life the best of your life. And I have to share a little side story. I remember years ago reading, before they really were able to get AIDS under control, and it was a terminal basic illness for everybody who got it, there was a group in San Francisco who joined stage 4 cancer people and AIDS people, and they started a group called What Does It Matter? And they started rock climbing and skydiving and doing all the things they wouldn't do because you could die. And the funny thing is, because they were living with their illness rather than dying from their illness, 10 years later, most of them were still alive. When you start operating from a place of loving what you have grows. So just a little thought from Mama Linda. Tuesday at 10, the men's coffee at Alon Brothers Coffee Shop in the 5th Street Market. It's a great opportunity for the guys to get together, to chat, to go over things. Mike, you're welcome anytime you want to pop in. Everybody who's not working on a Tuesday morning can, the guys anyway, it's for the guys to have their time. Wednesday evening gathering, Reverends Donna and Linda, who are down in, they're flying home right now from Los Angeles. There was a ministerial graduation in Southern California, and several of their friends were graduating. So they are down there, but they're headed back, and they will be here Wednesday night to do the midweek gathering, music, chanting, inspirational thought. The book that they're using is in the bookstore now if you want to get a copy of it. Also have other fun things in the book boutique, so just wander in and take a look around and somebody will help you. Opportunities for service. Okay, I'm going to grouse. I'm going to rant a little bit. Over the course of the last few days, I have heard from countless people how horrible the grounds look, how awful the weeds are, how bad the grass is. You know what? That sounds like a ministry. That sounds like maybe if you see something, it might be yours to do. So if you can't do it, then maybe throw some money at it. But do something to make it happen rather than just saying somebody somewhere ought to do this, because guess what? the last time I looked, we were all somebody. And I want to thank Tracy and Sparkle for, and Julie and Bree for showing up yesterday and doing so much work in the yard and really getting the weeds cut down and everything. And those of you who are new may not remember, but Bree came to us, 10, 15 years ago? It was a while, but she was one of our first Conestoga Hut people, and then we got her into a tiny home, and then a friend had her move to Arizona. Well, she is back in the area and may be resettling here. And first thing she did when she got out of her car was start pulling weeds. So it's there's work for us, and we can do it. But if you haven't met Bree, say hi to her. She's just an amazing human soul, and it's her birthday month. So. Okay, that was my speech on sacred opportunities for service, yes. Julie Denson did the artwork. It's amazing. You need to go around. There's so many styles, so many things she's done. It's just exquisite, and it's all for sale, and it's really reasonable. And the Taizé service, It's going to be not this coming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. Instead of the gathering, or what the gathering will be is the solstice Taizé service with Kathy and Dwayne and all the rest of us who can step up to help out. So mark your calendars for Wednesday night. It's an amazing midweek pickup. And Ona, do you have anything you want to share about the practitioners before we close, or?
Well, do we still introduce practitioners?
We do, yes.
Okay.
If you.
I haven't been here in 6 months. I had a bad injury, and they told me that I would probably lose my foot. And as you can see, I did not lose my foot. I gained a dog. You gained 4 more. I gained a dog instead. 4 more. That's right. Anyhow, practitioners work and we study because we want to help. We're nurturing type people, and we really like to help. And we've been trained very thoroughly to do so. We can help you see the truth about yourself when you can't see it. So please use us. Call us up, put notes in the lantern in the foyer. You can email us, you can call the office, and she'll connect you with one of us. And I think our pictures are still up in the social hall. If you want to go see who we are and what we think about things, you can do that too. So anyhow, if the practitioners will stand up and say their names, please.
Reverend Linda.
Reverend Trish. Kathy Day.
Radiant Gaines.
And Ona Chambers. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to, everybody would stand, we're going to sing the peace song. If you choose, please repeat after me. What would love do? What would love do? That's what I'm doing. And so it is.